Welcome back. We're Simply Bitcoin. We break down the news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, meme review, software releases, the hardware releases, and the websites by plebs. We are going to the numbers. Let's do it.
Number time! Number Time is brought to you by Bitcoin 2022. It's going to be the largest Bitcoin conference ever to be hosted in sunny Miami Beach. But get your tickets quickly because the prices do go up, but you can take advantage of the link down below for 10% off your ticket to Bitcoin 2022.
At the time of this recording, the block height is 712,959. The Bitcoin price, 50,710. Chain rewrite days, 798. Total public lightning capacity, 3,279.45. Moscow time, back below 2K, 1972. Blocks to the halvening, 127,041. Nico, the public lightning capacity is holding steady. It's very nice. And you know what? I put out a tweet today, which I will give you the link for, okay? We'll give you the link for it, from a screenshot that I took back in 2018, okay? Where we had a lot less capacity, a lot less. There was only 45. I think it was like, I don't know, man. It could have been 450 Bitcoin at the time on the network. Dude. Anyways, yeah. So we'll pop that up and show you some frame of reference. So where we are right now. Okay.
So it's gone exponential. And I have some more even bullish stats, Phil. Check this out. There's a very common myth, right? And the myth goes something like this, right? Because the block subsidy, right, the amount of, block reward you get gets cut in half every 4 years, right? There's this myth, which is Bitcoin mining is unsustainable. And if you think about it, like from a practical perspective, that kind of makes sense, right? If the reward gets cut in half every 4 years, then shouldn't miners be making half every 4 years? Well, the exact opposite of that happened. And this is a really good, chart by Lynn Alden, right? She put it together. Her sources were NYDIG. Remember, that's the company behind Bitcoin for Institutions. And check this out, Phil. 2011, the market cap of Bitcoin was $38 million. The annual security spend was $18 million. Fast forward to 2021, the average market cap is $850 billion. And check this out. The annual security spend is $16.5 billion. And the percentage of that market cap, it actually grows lower over time. And the actual revenue of this is somewhere, man, it's in the tens of millions of dollars. And how much, I think it's a huge amount of how much miners actually profit. Now, I just want to point this out, guys. Miners are actually making less Bitcoin every year, but in fiat value, they're actually making significantly more, right? That's the beauty of Bitcoin. That's what absolute scarcity does. But anyways, other really cool, interesting numbers as well, right? This is an article by Finbold. Despite Bitcoin's significant price correction to below the $50,000 mark over the weekend, this is the signal, guys. Remember I told you how important the hash rate is. The asset mining hash rate has increased, indicating mining activity has not been swayed by the price movement. Over the last 30 days, the hash rate has increased 5.91% from 152 texahash, I don't know, whatever, you guys get it, and 161 exahashes, man, I always mess it up. It's terahashes. It's terahashes. Okay, I apologize, guys. So, anyways, you guys get the point. The hash rate went up. Let's look at the drill. We don't censor ourselves on Simply Bitcoin. We fuck up.
It's so good.
This is live. No, it's not live, but you guys get it. It's recorded live.
We're leaving it live.
We're leaving it live. Okay, anyways. And check this out. This is absolutely bullish, right? This is the hash rate. This is the infamous China ban. The absolute fall off the cliff because of Bitcoin's incentives, right? Miners are just flooding into the network. And what happened yesterday was crazy. Even though we had that price blip, the hash rate has already started to recover. And remember what I've told you guys, and I haven't said this in a while. I said this many months ago, guys. When the hash rate is going up, the price tends to follow, right? Historically speaking, that's always what happens. And think about it this way, right? The higher the hash rate, the more secure the Bitcoin network, the higher the value proposition, right? So you want that hash rate to keep going up forever. And when I see the price fall, but the hash rate going higher, what I'm seeing is essentially a cheaper deal, right? You're buying a secure network. You're buying Bitcoin that's more secure, right? For a cheaper price, right? So just some observations. You guys know that we don't like to speculate, but we're showing you raw data. Phil?
That Lynn Alden tweet, that is absolutely amazing, right? Because we can clearly see what's happening with Bitcoin. We can clearly see the value that is dumping. Yeah, take a look at that, right? Look at that 2021, right? 1.9% of the market capitalization is for Bitcoin security. That's a beautiful thing. This goes completely against all of the BS narratives that they've been trying to spit out, okay? And the thing is this, right? Because Bitcoin, it's essentially a constant fight for the cheapest energy, right? And as a result, because of the low time preference, because of the value, because of the value that it accrues and that it absorbs out of the system, I believe that this is going to inherently incentivize people to come up with ways, right, for cheaper and cheaper energy.
Yeah, dude, it actually...
It's just, it makes perfect sense. It's
helps.
Like, look...
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm pulling a Canadian. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to
Thank
say...
you. Here's some maple syrup. Go.
And a hockey stick. But look, like... Man, we all have them. You know, I had tons of hockey sticks. My garage, man, you'd open up my garage, man, there was like 6 hockey sticks of which I never used, you know? But man, they were there, they were ready. No, but look, in terms of the, you know, in terms of this, right, we don't understand, this is what we've always said, right? We don't understand what having this scarce asset is going to do. And we you know, we hear these stupid claims about how like, oh, well, that's going to just stop everybody from spending money. No, what it's going to do is it's going to force people to innovate better. Okay? Because in order to get somebody to separate themselves from their Bitcoin, you're going to have to provide quality, right? Which is what we should have all been providing from the beginning. We'd probably be in a way better situation today. Absolutely. Anyways, so that's why I think that this is beautiful stuff. 1.9%, eventually it's going to be 0 point something. Okay, it's going to be 0 point something, and people aren't going to believe it, and they're still going to be crying from the rooftop saying that it's boiling the ocean, we're melting everything.
No, I mean, but those people are going to have fun staying poor because they're going to be the last ones to be buying Bitcoin. But you guys heard it here first. At 100K, Phil drinks some maple syrup. Anyways, it's time for
the Daily Fail. The Daily Fail is brought to you by Amber App. Check them out, amber.app. It's Bitcoin made easy, the easiest way to invest in Bitcoin. It's an app for stacking sats by actual Bitcoiners. Check them out. The link is down below. You know, I'm hearing that Yellow's a bit of a prima donna. He wants to have limos. He wants to be able to smoke on the planes.
No.
What's going on with that, Yellow?
Amber, the smart way to stack sats.
All right, got a couple of short little ones, and then like a proper drawn out story. But let's dive into some funny stuff, right? This is a tweet by BTC Sessions. We want to be the Amazon Web Services of crypto, says Coinbase exec, and this is absolutely magical from Jimbo. Amazon Web Services is the Amazon Web Services of shitcoins. Yes, it is, Jimbo. Yes, it is. Few. And you know how we know few? Because people are still buying this crap. Mm-hmm. That's how we know few. Anyways.
That is how we know few. That is how we know few. It's true.
It's just, you know, it's right there. It's evidence. All right, we got tagged by Mr. Robots from a retweet from Jameson Lops. This is pretty good, okay? The average of all 10,000 CryptoPunks. Does that look familiar to everyone? Like the same thing that everybody has seen?
Wait, Phil, hold on.
Yeah.
Right-click
No, we're going to go take a look at the crypto, huh?
Right-click save. Right-click save.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. Oh, wait.
Save. Yeah. There you
Boom.
go. Boom.
It's done.
Boom.
We own it.
Well, we own it now.
We own it. Look, this is the true average of all the CryptoPunks, right? This is averagecryptopunk.com. This is take a look. Do you guys get it yet?
No.
You don't get it? Look, you see what you're looking at? All these faces?
Uh-huh.
Okay. This is the average of all 10,000 of them.
Oh, so they're all averaged together.
It looks the same.
It does
all
look the
looks
same. That's why I was confused. I was like, is it going to look weird? Man. Bro, and
These guys, man, these people that are buying this is so ridiculous. You're not paying for this. You're not paying for this image. You're paying for a unique hash ID. You've been tricked. You've been tricked. Everyone can have this image. Anyways. Okay.
Oh, man.
All right, we're done with the NFTs. We're done. All right, here's our... It's kind of, I'd say it's our joke of the day, right? These fails are kind of just becoming funnier and funnier, right? Candao is launching the first social network launchpad. Nico, you better hold on to your seats, man. I hope you have a drink. I hope you're ready to go because, man, they're about to flip social networking on its back. Here we go. Candao, an overlayer solution. That's right. I said that, people. An overlayer solution. So it's a cover? Is that what that is? The comforter? Anyways, we don't know. But it's an overlayer solution for the social shitcoin world. Has launched its social network launchpad. This is the first of its kind in the shitcoin industry. Having a world where everyone and anyone can build, scale, and expand their businesses, irrespective of whether the person is a business professional, is possible through the social network communities. Side note, you can do this right now without a shitcoin by signing up to social networks and posting content and building a brand if you so choose, if that's what you want to be. Anyways, I digress. I'm sure that I'm totally missing the point of why this needs to be some form of money. Anyways, what is a social network launchpad? Well, good question, Nico. What is it? All right, well, a blockchain-powered social network launchpad can be likened to a decentralized autonomous organization. You know those things from the rec leaderboards that we show you guys? Yeah, it's just like one of those. Right? Centralized garbage, where the community members determine what goes on within the ecosystem. For instance, the community can decide what business to fund and how much. With a social network launchpad, everyone has an equal chance to be successful and established since there will be equal opportunity for all. I'm pretty sure that there's something called crowdfunding today. There's also Kickstarter. I mean, I know that they accept, USD and other currencies, but I'm sure that we're missing the point, Nico. This needs to be money, right? Yeah. Okay. The Candao social network launchpad distributes revenue to all active communities. Nice. Revenue from what? We have no idea. Okay. If a member gets involved with his community, the user can create tokens. Of course they can. Everyone needs to make their own money, create tokens, maximize their potential. Candao makes users see their money as data, and it is entirely up to the users to determine how much data they generate in the Candao's ecosystem. Money is equal to trust and goodwill. Users can create tokens and increase the amount of money they can earn from the project. Who's going to buy these tokens? Why are they going to buy these tokens? What is the point of this crap? Why does it need to be money? This is what happens when technology can't get funding because it really has no future, right? And the people that are building it know that it's dog shit. They know that it's dog shit. And that's why they're making a token. Anyways, the problem that Candao is solving. Nice. They're going to help us out. They're going to tell us the use case. Startups face myriads of problems in today's world. Without a solution, the world will be robbed of great and impactful projects. It's the kind of thing I would have written back in high school. Sounds good. It's a good opening line, right? We're going to fix it all. These problems include the following: unfair distribution of funds and difficult access to essential assets, multiple channels for different target groups, high marketing cost, and limited utility to personal and business tokens. I don't know how they're solving any of this. The Candao social network launchpad enables startup founders to use their tokens and network with others within the community. They can raise funds and further develop their community. With Candao, any individual can present his business concept, build a community around it, use various cost-effective marketing tools, implement their solution in the real world, and watch the impact in real time, which is exactly what people do today. It's already happening, all of this. Doesn't need its own form of money. You don't need to go out and make your own tokens and pretend that that's a thing. Anyways, here we go. Candao is a comprehensive over-layer solution, as I mentioned before, for the social cryptocurrency world. So that's the second time they tell us that. Clearly, they are running out of points. Okay. It connects every chain, layer, and decentralized application. Candao serves as a multi-chain platform with an overlaying set of tools and solutions that connects different crypto communities. Its features include CandyPad, which serves as a trustless social launchpad designed for community members to vote on whether their money should be accessible to the fundraiser depending on the pre-agreed key performance indicators. Yeah. The Metascan is another feature that enables users to see and track everything without the need for third-party analytics tools, which often provides wrong on-chain data. They give you nothing behind that. I mean, that's just a sentence right there. Boom. Our Metascan does better than everybody else's tracking. We know. You just say it, man. You say it, and it's true. Okay. Wait, we haven't even gone to their website yet. The Candy Chain feature allows Candao to save most users' activities on a public chain where others can periodically review them. That sounds so useful. Members can track the activities of one another from their very beginning. For the Cand ID, it serves as is a dedicated NFT based on digital ID connected with an omni-scan history of wallet transactions. That was complete verbal diarrhea. Total verbal diarrhea. I don't even know what I said to you people. No clue. Let's take a look at their website now, right? That was a great fluffy article which told you absolutely nothing, okay?
I was listening to that. I was like, what does this mean?
What does it mean? What do they do? Right? Why does it all of a sudden need to be money? Because as you can imagine, there is a token behind this, right?
Let me ask you something, Phil.
Yes.
You say that a lot, and I just don't want people to lose track what you mean by that. What do you mean by it doesn't need to be money? Why does it not need to be money?
Yes, excellent question. Okay, so what happens a lot of times with these shitcoin...
minimize the screen so people can see.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll go into the... What happens a lot with these shitcoin projects is that they're offering... Essentially what they're doing is that they're offering a token based on a specific feature set and a specific technology, okay? Now, when I say that technology doesn't need to be money, that is exactly that. That technology, that feature set does not require to be a store of value. It doesn't require to be censorship resistant or anything like that, okay? It doesn't need to be anything that money is. It is a technology to be applied to a proper base layer. So if the technology is worthwhile, it'll eventually get ported to Bitcoin, if it's actually worthwhile. If it's not, it'll stay as a shitcoin and it'll die on the vine. Because at the end of the day, that one feature, right, does not need to be money.
So I have a rhetorical question that I know the answer to, but I think people would appreciate the answer from you. Is so why would they create money for that?
Okay, well, they're going to create money for that so that they can steal your Bitcoin and they can essentially steal your wealth, right? Because essentially what's happening is this, right? Their technology in most cases can't get funding through the proper channels, okay? And as a result, they can come here, right? They can come to the shitcoin space, they can make a token, and they can quote unquote market their technology as that token, okay? But somebody who's like, as somebody who's actually in my job, I've used a shitcoin technology. I had no choice, right? This was one of the integrations into our product, okay? The token is Civics, right? So essentially, Civics offers identity solutions, right? What happens is that you provide your identity information to Civics, okay? And then they essentially provide validation for your identity, okay? To other applications that use it. For example, if you have, let's say a visitor, like a visitor management system to your building, okay? And everybody is using the Civics app, right? Well, They're going to have their ID stored on the Civics app, and let's say that integrates with the visitor management system in the building. You go to that building, you will present your ID, your Civics ID, and you'll be allowed to enter into that building based on those credentials. Now, did I mention money in any of that transaction to you?
No.
Did I mention that any of that needed to be money?
Nope.
It's a technology that a company buys. More specifically, it's an API call to a database hosted by Civics, a centralized database hosted by that company that has your unique identification information. Why does it need to be money?
So it's
right?
almost as if, right, they're using the guise of this needs to be a token to raise money, essentially curtailing all the existing securities laws which cover this completely, which, by the way, we'll cover in the news in a bit, to, kind of raise money from the public without having the scrutiny of securities laws. That sounds like what they're doing, Phil.
It kind of does, Nico. It kind of does. That's right.
But not that I'm a fan of government intervention in anything, but the securities laws are essentially there to protect the investor from getting fucking scammed, right? And what you'll see with a lot of, these shitcoin projects, including the one that Phil's reading right now, is that they use a lot of highly technical jargon, right, to kind of spin you into thinking it's a phenomenal idea, where they get massively wealthy because everyone's just sending them Ethereum or whatever shitcoin they use to raise money. And 99.99% of these projects deliver zip. But you know who doesn't get the money back? You. And the founders get filthy rich with all that money that they raised for a supposed token that you're not buying for the technology, you're buying because you think that token is going to 10x.
That's true. And keep in mind, right? I just want to add the company, the company that uses the Civics API doesn't have to purchase the Civics token. There is no transaction whatsoever regarding that token at any point in the process in their products. So you are literally buying a Chuck E. Cheese token. It's no joke. It's like Nike making a token right now. You want to own a piece of Nike? Buy some shares.
And now,
right?
What is the difference between that and Bitcoin?
Between what and Bitcoin?
The shit coins, the utility tokens, because that's really what they're called, and Bitcoin. What's the difference?
Well, there's a lot of differences. But essentially, Bitcoin has two things, right? There's Bitcoin, the network, and there's Bitcoin, the token, right? Like that's what's actually happening.
Okay,
So
let's focus on the token.
Yeah.
Why should people buy Bitcoin, the token, and not the shitcoin utility tokens?
People should buy Bitcoin, the token, because it has no head. There is no company. It is actually doing exactly what it is intended to do, which is store and transfer value censorship resistantly.
Without having to trust any individual, because as we've learned throughout history, as soon as you trust an individual, whether it's the head of Candy Chain, whatever, or Civics, or XRP, or Vitalik, they could change the monetary policy, right? We just heard recently that Ethereum did another hard fork, right? That means that if you don't update your Ethereum node, that Ethereum that you used to have, now it's useless garbage, right? So, yeah, man, I think that's the key difference. And I asked you all those rhetorical questions, Phil, because I feel like a lot of the audience members was, they had questions, which is like, this doesn't need a token, right? So I hope everyone learned a little bit.
There you go. We tried to do a teaching lesson. Even though we're not the greatest teachers, we're better entertainers than we are teachers.
It's
but
true.
Anyways,
this is an entertainment channel after all.
It's true. Okay, so hold on. Let me wrap this up.
Wrap it up.
Let's take a look at their website. Why does this need to be money? Decentralized social network. Join as and get exclusive PRV sale launchpad access, 50 CDO. CDO is the Candao token, right? 700,000 CDO giveaway or a dream car. Boom! That's why this is money. Daily giveaway. They keep reminding us over and over again, this is a comprehensive overlayer solution. Now, you've been listening to me for at least 10 minutes. Has anyone figured out what an overlayer solution is for the social cryptocurrency world?
But it sounds nice.
It's an overlayer, Nico. Okay? So here you go. This is the token. Guys, this is it, right? Draw the token in the middle. Put a bunch of circles around it, show you how the ecosystem is going to look. Now, I'm going to point out one thing that's very interesting. You'll notice none of these circles connect. Okay? You'll notice that all these bubbles all around, you're sitting alone on your island, and nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Okay? They couldn't even draw this frickin' chart right. Anyways, let's go down. Let's take a look at some more of the features. This was one I found very interesting, okay? Again, keep in mind, this is somehow, for some reason, you're going to come onto this and you're going to create your own token, and for some reason, other people are going to buy your token or invest in your idea using your token, or you're going to sell them tokens. I don't know. You're going to get rug pulled. You're just shitcoining. Anyways, here we go. Matchify. A wide range of recommendations will be made to Candao users based on their activity, both off and on chain, including investors with similar portfolios feeds that may be of interest to them. Okay. So look, guys, we provide all the links. You can go dig through this complete shit show all on your own if you want. But that little piece, okay, what I just read to you right there should tell you everything. They took Twitter, they took Facebook, they took Instagram, Snapchat. They just took all these different things and crypto, right? Because you got to include the shitcoins, because otherwise there's no reason for you to own this token, right? You throw in some tokenomics around this, and we're going to build an ecosystem where everyone can grow. I'm pretty sure that we, to a certain extent, free markets and capitalism hasn't entirely died. There are still pockets of it out there. And I'm pretty sure that anybody with a great enough idea can make it happen. And they don't need this absolute garbage token or this platform. I'm sorry.
I think you hit the nail on the head, bro. I think that, shitcoin platforms, they're taking advantage. Essentially what they do, right? They do the associations, right? We've shown you the email where they contact me. Hey, Bitvol Mining, do you want to work with Solana? Like stuff like that. So they get the brand association, the influencer association, and they try to pitch you this idea of this great company, right? But what they're really doing is that they're curtailing the traditional way of raising funds, and essentially they're suckering people in to part with their Bitcoin, right? We've been seeing this happen since 2017. Okay, it's the same thing. Ethereum did the same thing, right? It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same method where literally they come up with an idea, they brand, they market the hell out of it, they tell you 1,000,001 reasons why you should buy this. You part with your Bitcoin, you give it to them, they keep all of that, right? And then you get stuck holding worthless bags of a centralized shitcoin. Time and time again, this is exactly what they do. This is exactly why we have a whole segment to debunk all these shitcoin narratives and hopefully save some of you guys a little bit of Bitcoin. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily Meme Reviews. The Daily Meme Review is sponsored by Citadel 21. It's the best Bitcoin cultural zine. Super cool, different stories, articles by Bitcoiners. Savage, toxic Bitcoin maxis. But be quick about it because there's only 1,000 copies made per volume. Get your copy of Citadel 21 today. Alright everybody, the first meme is brought to us by one of the meme lords, Big Sean Harris. Let's check it out. It says pretty much, I met someone, we talk, I tell him how Bitcoin is the king of money, the best invention of our generation, fastest thing to grow to 1 trillion, and did it with zero market, on its way to be the world reserve currency. Sats the standard, fix the money, Bitcoin is the hope, have fun staying poor, few, they leave. And the cycle repeats, highly accurate. My girlfriend doesn't want to hear it anymore. Anyways, moving on. And if I was dating, I would just keep it to myself. I wouldn't say anything, you know, because they're going to think I'm weird. Okay, anyways. They'll probably see the laser eyes coming out of my eyes. Like, anyways, this next one's brought to us by, looks like another fellow Bitcoiner, Susie B. Ethereum is more versatile than Bitcoin. Ethereum. Absolutely hilarious. Moving on to the next one. Done. It's by the legendary RDBTC. Quiet Jerome Powell is going to say something. This is a very famous scene from Forrest Gump, right? When he goes for that like something long ass run and all these people follow him. Jerome Powell, Wall Street, quiet. He's going to say something. We might start tapering. That's it. We're oh man, that's a great one. Okay, next one. This is by Counterpoints. Let's check it out. This is making fun of the recent feature that YouTube implemented. They got rid of the dislikes. You want to know why? Because a lot of political figures, by certain political figures, were starting to get ratioed more dislikes than the likes. They complained to the proper authorities, and they made the dislike feature disappear. That's right. You can't tell how many dislikes a YouTube video has now. And they implemented that, again, because they didn't want certain political videos looking bad. Joe Biden is, sorry, got a cough.
That is so weak.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I didn't even notice it.
Telling you, bro. Shit's getting crazy. Anyways, our favorite senator, the toxic Bitcoin maximalist, Senator Cynthia Lummis. Sarala Omarova, we've covered her, right? She is this communist that essentially wants to nationalize all the private banks, turn them into one big bank, the Fed Bank. President Biden's nominee to be the top banking regulator on banks, private banks, government-controlled banks. Absolutely hilarious, and it's coming from a senator. Really, really cool. Awesome memes, and for that, and because it's the holidays in the spirit of Christmas, all I want for Christmas is Bitcoin, baby. Woo! It's my Bitcoin Christmas sweater. What about you, Phil?
That's all I want to. I just want more sats than I had the day before. All right. Well, anyways, epic memes. Great on Cynthia Lummis, right? That was awesome. And for that, I am giving it... This is the Quint Solo wooden honey badger. You know it. It deserves this.
That's an epic score. I think you gave me one for my birthday. I think I have it on my little mini fridge. Just magnet up. Really cool stuff. Anyways, guys, you know the drill. We post Monday through Saturday. No matter what, rain or shine. So for whatever reason, if you can't find us on YouTube, make sure to find us on rumble.com, Simply Bitcoin, and bitcointv.com under Simply Bitcoin. If we don't post, we'll make sure to let you know, but there's a lot of censorship going on these days, just to make sure. And of course, join our Telegram group. It's linked down below. Link us some Bitcoin memes to review, because a Bitcoin meme review for the meme review. But anyways, Phil, it's time for the Daily News. The Daily News is brought to you by CryptoCloaks.com. They make the best 3D printed Bitcoin merch, like this grenade statue. Really cool stuff. You can unscrew it. You can put your Open Dimes hardware wallets in there, or the Bitcoin 3D printed honey badger. You could also open it up, put your cold card hardware wallet in there. Really cool stuff. Anyways, take advantage of the link down below for 5% off CryptoCloaks.com. All right, everybody. Okay, bear with me. But we've been talking a lot about the better flag theory, right? The incentives of Bitcoin, right? The power that Bitcoin gives you to not only vote with your wallet, but also vote with your feet, right? Think about it. Before, in the past, if you wanted to get up and leave a country because of the totalitarianism, because of some recent mandate occurrings, right? Whether you agree with them or not, irrelevant, or because there's a genocide or some atrocity, a war happening in your country, like we saw with Afghanistan, right? Guess what? The banking system disappeared overnight. There was bank runs, but now with Bitcoin, you could literally get up and go. You could memorize 12-word seed phrase, and you could bring your entire net worth with you in your mind. It's incredibly powerful. So what is happening, right, is that slowly you're going to start to see governments compete for your business. We're already seeing that in El Salvador with the Bitcoin city, 0% income tax, right? 0% payroll tax, 0% property tax. Why? Because Nayib Bukele is trying to incentivize Bitcoiners to move to El Salvador. So anyways, let's check out this really interesting article by Blockworks. Without me giving you all that context, this article would be noise, but try to connect the dots, right? You'll start to see a pattern emerge. Anyways, South Korean lawmakers vote to postpone crypto tax. I wonder why. South Korean lawmakers has voted to postpone a steep crypto tax on digital assets until 2023. According to the new bill that was passed by lawmakers, the tax is now set to kick in on January 1st, 2023. Opposition lawmakers and members of the local digital assets industry have raised questions on why the tax on crypto is structured differently than for equities. The new proposed tax on equities capital gains would also come in 20%, but would exclude the first 42,000 generated. Smagin cited data from the Federation of Industries surveyed, which shows that 40% of Koreans in their 20s and 30s have experience investing in crypto. Now, here is the signal. Both parties want to earn votes of the young population who invest heavily in digital assets. There's the signal.
The
right?
incentives.
They don't want people leaving. They don't want their tax cattle leaving. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin gives the power of the individual to leave very quickly, very fast. Anyways, moving on. So, it was actually JWW Weatherman. He's a controversial figure, which we've had on the show. You know, whatever you feel about him, but he said something really interesting, and I kind of questioned him about it. He said, IRS will exempt Bitcoin from capital gains within 5 years. I said, why is that? What makes you say this? I said, I would think they would raise taxes on Bitcoin, not lower them. And he said, because we are buying senators faster than any other special interest, and because they're going to want to encourage us to spend above the table. The more we have a tendency to go a gray market, the more sales tax, etc. they don't get. Now, connect the dots. What happened in El Salvador? What was the income tax in the Bitcoin city? Now, connect this with this article. Both parties want to earn votes of the younger population who invest heavily in digital assets. Excuse me, right? And what is the title of this article? South Korean lawmakers vote to postpone crypto tax. So you get it. The world is changing. The world is shifting. And this is exactly what the thesis of the sovereign individual lined out. This is exactly what Milton Friedman said in the video that we played for you guys yesterday, right? The rise of an e-currency, like Milton Friedman said, or Bitcoin, right, is going to essentially less the size of government, because now the government is no longer the only monopoly on the creation of money. Now the creation of money is democratized, and anyone that has enough electricity to pay for an ASIC could now make their money. And not only that, the friction to send Bitcoin or carry Bitcoin with you over long distances makes it essentially borderless. The system of control that they had in the legacy system is now becoming non-existent in the Bitcoin world. We're already starting to see glimmers of light and hope coming out of El Salvador. You see that article from South Korea. You see what JW is saying. As the market cap of Bitcoin continues to rise, the more influence Bitcoiners will have in Congress or in the government in your countries, right? Really, really interesting stuff. And if you think I'm bullshitting you, this is already happening, right? And let me read this article before I shut up, Phil. Bitcoin miners say they're helping to fix the broken Texas electric grid, and Ted Cruz agrees. Remember what I told you about politicians? Remember what I told you? If Bitcoin's a large part of the economy, what are the politicians going to do? I already read you the stuff from Cynthia Loomis yesterday. She's fighting the Fed on trying to get Bitcoin banks in Wyoming. Ted Cruz is fighting for the Texas electric grid. It looks like these politicians are trying to fight for Bitcoin. Ted Cruz actually wanted to strike the crypto provision in the infrastructure bill altogether. So it really looks like the thesis in the sovereign individual is playing out. And that makes you wonder, and it really tells you, this is exactly why the South Korean lawmakers wanted to postpone the crypto tax. Why? Because the Bitcoiners will just get up and leave. But anyways, really cool stuff. The Texas power grid is struggling with fluctuating energy prices and sporadic service, but the state's growing Bitcoin mining community believes it could help fix it. What was it that you were saying in the beginning, Phil? What was it that you were saying?
Those incentives?
Those incentives?
Incentives, right? Low time preference, better quality, search for cheaper energy.
Look at that. Okay. Anyways, Senator Ted Cruz says a lot of discussion around Bitcoin views Bitcoin as a consumer of energy, said Cruz at an event in October. The perspective I'm suggesting is very much the reverse, which is a way to strengthen our energy infrastructure. Look at that. I think that's what you said in the beginning, Phil. ERCOT powers 90% of the state, but to run smoothly, it requires a perfect balance between supply and demand. Having too much power and not enough buyers is just as bad as everyone wanting to fire up their AC units on the same day in July. The price of power per hour is all over the place, routinely going negative. Rolling blackouts at moments of peak power consumption no longer come as a surprise. A lot of people lost faith in the grid altogether after a winter storm earlier this year resulted in a multi-system meltdown that was within minutes of much more serious and potentially complete blackout. Bitcoin and shitcoin enthusiasts, just Bitcoin, because Ted Cruz just said Bitcoin. He didn't say crypto. Anyways, Bitcoin enthusiasts believe the fix to this problem is actually to add additional electricity consumers into the mix, a buyer who will take as much power as they're given, whatever the time of day, and are just as willing to power down with a few seconds notice. These flexible buyers are Bitcoin miners. So let me explain how that works, okay? When you produce power, first of all, it's not efficient to send over long distances, number one. When you produce power, you can't store that power, right? It's not efficient to store it, right? So, what happens? Electricity companies essentially need to guess how much electricity production they're going to have during that given day. If they overproduce, all of that overproduced electricity goes to waste. Except until Bitcoin, because now there is a buyer of last resort, which goes back to what I've been saying for months now. Bitcoin uses excess or stranded energy that was already going to waste. And by doing so, it provides a sense of stability for these electricity or energy producers, because they know for a fact that even if just people are not using as much power today, there is always going to be a buyer of last resort, and that is Bitcoin miners. So it's not that Bitcoin mining wastes energy, it's that it uses wasted energy. Before, that energy was just going poof. Phil?
It's interesting that you mentioned the buyer of last resort, right? Because when we talk about, even purchasing Bitcoin, right, out on the open market, we talk about how hodlers are essentially the buyers of last resort. And it's funny that in terms of the waste from energy systems, we are again the buyers of last resort. the parallel that I'm making is that you'll notice that in the fiat system, they don't have any buyers of last resort. They just have lenders of last resort because it's a debt-based system, right? It's all credit. So like, it's just, crap in, crap out. So I just find it very interesting. Again, we're seeing that philosophical difference, right? Where in the traditional system, we're seeing lenders of last resort to keep the lights on, and in the Bitcoin system, we see buyers of last resort that help energy from going to waste.
Dude, and it's crazy how much Bitcoin is doing, right? It's empowering the individual. It's taking power away from the state. It gives the individual the right to choose where he wants to move based on the favorable laws towards him. And not only that, it's also helping the energy sector, dude.
Nico.
It's like, fix the money, fix the world, and we're showing you the receipts, guys. We're showing you the receipts. We're pulling up the articles. Anyways.
Nico, did the ESG people just all lose their jobs because of Bitcoin? I think
no,
so.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that.
No?
Don't say that.
I can't say that?
They totally did. But don't say that. Don't say that.
You going to cut that out?
No, I'm not going to cut that. I'm going to leave that in.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out, is this a YouTube thing or is this...
No, I just feel bad for them because we're going to get that one guy in the comments like,
I can't say that. No, but I mean, it's just, it kind of gave me that, like I just had a, like an epiphany, right? That, look at that, this whole time, I thought that they were fighting against Bitcoin for a different reason. And I just realized that, no, the real reason why you're fighting against Bitcoin is because your whole argument is about to become irrelevant.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, but like, there's a certain amount of people out there where their whole entire existence is the constant fight. So it doesn't matter what cause they are causing for, as long as they're doing it for something. And that, Dude, unfortunately, those people are just going to move on to something else.
Dude, and no, you're absolutely right, bro. They get paid to fight for causes, and they're not necessarily legitimate causes, right? We're not going to give our opinions on that, but their whole purpose, look, for example, Steve Hanke, our favorite Steve Hanke the Panky, right? This guy's tweeting about how inflation and money printing is all bad and this and this and that, but he's completely de-incentivized to understand Bitcoin, because if he understood Bitcoin, what purpose does he have to serve now? He's been teaching Keynesian economics for his entire life. All of a sudden there's a brand new system, and his reactions, I think, is the tell, right? That's the tell. It's like what we covered yesterday about the World Bank and the Fed not accepting these new Bitcoin banks. That's the tell. That tells you everything you need to know. But anyways, Phil, I want to kind of tie this last part into what you were talking about earlier, right? And how essentially these shitcoins, they raise money, right, under the guise that it's for a certain thing, but in reality, what they're doing is they're curtailing securities laws. And guess what? The SEC, Gary Gensler, I might add, on the old SEC that worked for Trump, a Republican, and the new SEC chairman, a Democrat that was appointed by Joe Biden, they both agree on the things that we're talking about. Anyways, let's check out this article by the New York Times. Gary Gensler and Jay Clayton are aligned on at least one thing. Many types of crypto tokens fall in the agency's domain. I wonder why. Regulators on the left and right rarely agree on policy. Yet when it comes to Bitcoin and shitcoins, two men who have led the Securities and Exchange Commission are remarkably aligned. The technologies or offerings may be new, but old rules still apply. Who has been telling you this for many months? We have. Anyways, Jay Clayton, the Republican SEC chairman under President Donald Trump, interviewed Gary Gensler, the current SEC chief, in the Democratic Biden administration on Wednesday at the Digital Asset Compliance and Market Integrity Summit in New York. When Clayton asked his successor whether the SEC intended to regulate crypto, Mr. Gensler replied, "I don't think you mind if I would quote you back to you. Mr. Gensler then expressed a view that former chairman has long articulated, one that blockchain businesses strongly resist, that cryptocurrency tokens are largely used to raise money for entrepreneurs and as such meet the time-tested definitions of an investment contract and are thus under the securities laws. What did we just say during the daily fail? Anyways, their agreement on the issue is significant because it suggests that many, if not most, crypto issuers are violating the law by failing to register with the SEC and could be subject to enforcement actions. And a pending case may resolve this question. At the end of Mr. Clayman's tenure at the agency last year, the SEC sued Ripple Labs and its founders, accusing them of raising over $1.3 billion through an unregistered, ongoing digital securities offering when selling their tokens, which are known as XRP. Not every cryptocurrency is a security. That much has been established. The original crypto, Bitcoin, for example, is considered a commodity in the United States because there is no single individual or entity minting the tokens. Who has been saying this for a long time, Phil? Instead, a decentralized network of independently run, high-powered computers compete for the opportunity to mine Bitcoin and earn a portion for the work of algorithmically solving math problems. Who else said this, Phil? Who else said this? Anyways, the SEC argues, however, that because Ripple Labs sold XRP to raise money for its payments products and in exchange, investors were owed disclosures about the company's business and operations so they could make informed decisions about whether to buy the token. Oh, that is pretty crazy that two plebes on YouTube were faster than the New York Times. Anyways, moving on. It's not only XRP. Let's check out this video by Hodl Never Soddle. And this is Gary Gensler. Let's check it out.
You just described some crypto as securities. Which ones do you think of as securities?
It's pretty clear, and the Supreme Court has actually spoken about this many times. If somebody is raising money, selling a token,
start the Ether presale in a couple of weeks. So the Ether presale will be an opportunity for anyone to purchase Ether, where Ether is the internal currency inside of the Ethereum system, sort of like the XRP and Ripple.
And the buyer is anticipating profits.
What we're hoping is that sort of similar to what happened with Mastercoin. If that slice is something like 20%, and then the value of Ether goes up by 5, then we basically have the entire initial BTC that we got all over again.
Based on the efforts of that group.
About 100 people that are working on Ethereum right now.
Myself leading the protocol design.
And we also have branding teams, we have marketing teams.
That fits into something that's a security.
So, you know, it was Phil, the shitcoin slayer yesterday. It's Nico, the shitcoin slayer today. Looks like Ethereum is a fucking security. And I think we've been saying this for a long time. And it looks like XRP is a security. Why? Because they knew when they initially sold the initial Ripple, the initial Ethereum. What was that shitcoin that we just covered, Phil?
I don't...
Candano, whatever. The founders knew from the get-go that token was going to have value. You heard it from Vitalik's mouth just now. When Satoshi Nakamoto mined the first Bitcoin, he was mining it at a loss because it was an experiment and he had no idea it was going to have value, aka the virgin birth. In fact, Bitcoin didn't have value for like a year until the free market assigned to give it value. Every single shitcoin created since then, the founders knew that if they could sell it, people would buy it. That is the difference. Phil?
You just got me thinking. As we're watching that video, I realized Ethereum is still hasn't moved over to proof of stake, which means there's still a proof of work coin. So What rights do any of the token holders have on the Ethereum network? I mean, they can't, it's not like shares, because I'm saying if it's a security, right? If it's a security, then all of a sudden they need to have voting rights. There needs to be a share structure. Like, what happens there?
Dude,
I don't know. I gotta tell you, man, this and many other reasons is why I dumped my bags and got the hell away from this, because it became so confusing and it became so enraging. And I know that these people want to believe that they're gonna make money 2.0, but money 2.0 isn't coming out of a foundation. I'm sorry, it's not coming out of the Ethereum Foundation. It's not happening.
What percentage, dude? They had like, I think it was like a 60 or 70% pre-mine. We know XRP holds
70,
XRP owns the majority of the XRP, whatever, the Ripple, whatever token. I don't know what the fuck they are, but whatever tokens. Now, okay, guys, to be fair, Ripple and Ethereum are extremely well funded, which means they have very large war chests. Ripple has already been sued by the SEC, but listen, as the Bitcoin market cap goes up in value, it brings the shitcoins with them, right? And when it brings the shitcoins with them, they're very well funded as well, right? So does this mean that Ethereum is going to be deemed a security? I don't know. Does it mean that Ripple's going to be deemed a security? I don't know if they're going to win that lawsuit. But by the traditional description, they are securities because the founders knew, you just heard Vitalik say it, that they were going to be able to dump their bags on other people and, to quote Vitalik, and get the same amount of Bitcoin back, right? Notice how he said Bitcoin? So anyways, look, just wanted to present that case to you. Let's see what happens. Just laying it out. And I want you guys to come to your own conclusions, right? We're not trying to put ideas into your head. We're just trying to show you receipts. We're trying to show you what's going on, and we'll let you guys be the judge. Phil?
I just don't understand how they're going to reconcile becoming because look, that's what's going to happen, right? The SEC has a head they can cut, Nico. So they are going to cut that head, right? Like they are going to force that shitcoin into the box they want them to fit. I don't know what that's going to mean for all the people holding these bags.
And not only that, dude, they're centralized, right? We know for a fact that the majority of Ethereum nodes are run on AWS servers. We did an episode on that. We showed you the receipts. So not only are they, by the traditional legal sense, not that we're big fans of the government, whatever, they're security, but they're the security. But also, right, it's exactly what you said. There's a metaphorical head to chop off because the majority of the nodes are run on AWS servers. If you compare that to Bitcoin, which is why the fork wars were so important, to keep the resource intensity to lowest minimum so as many people could run nodes are distributed around the world, not in server farms. Because if they were in server farms, guess what? That's very easy for the government to just knock on the door and say, hey, what's going on here? Do you remember what happened to that app called Parler after January 6th? Disappeared off the face of the earth the next day, and that's because the majority of their servers were on AWS, like Ethereum. So theoretically, if Jeff Bezos hits his knee on his bedstand one morning and says, that was Ethereum would go. Anyways, Phil, there was an open source software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. The software releases are brought to you by CipherSafe. Check them out, cyphersafe.io. It's definitely the best way to protect your seed. Check out the Cypher Wheel. Store your seed in the Cypher Wheel. It's fireproof, it's waterproof, it's pet-proof. The link is down below. All right, we've got LND version 0.14.1. That is a Lightning implementation that is down below in the show notes. Guys, don't forget, rain or shine, we post Sunday to Friday. Is it Sunday to Friday, Nico?
Monday through Saturday.
Monday through Saturday. I'm close enough. Rain or shine, we post Monday through Saturday. And audio only, you can go check us out on Anchor, check us out on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. All right, guys, that was our show. We got some very interesting guests this week. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to enjoy it. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the show, you know what to do. Smash that like button. And of course, if you want to continue hearing the catastrophic fails from the shitcoiners, central bankers, all the above, and the Bitcoin news from the pleb perspective, definitely consider subscribing. And we'll see you tomorrow, guys, for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin.
We said the moat was getting smaller a couple of days ago. We underestimated how quickly it's getting smaller.
Bye, Yakasha.